Hey everybody, Chris here. A lot of Dogecoin price targets out there, but are they really real? We're going to talk about that in this video. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Hit that little notification bell too. You can be notified when the videos come out as well as when I do live streams. My lives will be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday going forward. I have a really busy schedule right now. But if there is something big going on, I'll be live for that. So make sure you are subscribed. You've got your notifications on so you know when the lives come on. Right now we have weakness across the crypto market. Again, a little bit more of a pullback overnight. Let's get into it. Let me show you the charts and the news. I'll show you what I'm looking at. And we start here with the current Dogecoin chart, and we are at 1379, down in the 13s, back down in the brown box. Unfortunately, we had this nice double top here, up above 15 cents. We were seeing what that next move was. Was it going to go higher? Because we had a double bottom previously, and the price after that had gone even lower. Were we going to see this whole market turn around? And right now, there is weakness going down. We had a bit of a volume spike here early this morning, but that was again on a red candle, which shows more selling. And in that immediate candle, there was some buying, thinking buying on the dips, but it is drifting down even more. Bitcoin is at 95.4, kind of going a bit sideways at the moment. It had been up here at 98,000. It did touch 98, now in the 95s. Will it get down to 94? We will be watching that as well for Bitcoin. So, Doge Fear and Greed Index. Look at it. It's right in the middle, 50. Yes, we are right in the middle, neutral on Doge. I'm sensing a little more negative sentiment, and I think we're a little drifting more towards fear at the moment. But hey, I get it that there are a lot of bulls still out there, and we'll be looking at those price targets that some have. Are they really real or not? We're going to get into that in just a little bit. We start with this though. Antifragile says, look, the top 500 altcoins had a great start to the year. In the first week of January, altcoins saw the largest gains since August 2025. The question now is whether this was just a relief bounce after year-end tax loss harvesting or actual demand returning. And the line says, finally, someone said it clearly. And that is truly it, right? And we've been talking about this. And you guys know where I stand already, and that I think it's really just a relief bounce. And I've been talking about relief rally. The relief rally did not go as high as I had thought. I was kind of sucked into that 50-week moving average thesis on Bitcoin, which I'll show in a minute, or more near the end of this video of my response to someone talking about Dogecoin moving averages. That was a mini relief rally. That's what that was. So this phrases it very well, because we did have that pump and everybody's getting excited, right? Super cycle, extended cycle, and all that. And it's just like, no, not really. Sentiment says what? The crowd is not believing in Bitcoin's rally. There's a sign that it can continue, but that's the key word. It can continue, but will it? According to social data, commentary toward Bitcoin across social media has interestingly turned more and more bearish as prices have bounced. With markets typically moving the opposite direction of retail sentiment, the most FUD seen in 10 days may propel Bitcoin to its first revisit above 100K. But that's kind of interesting that the crowd is not believing in the Bitcoin rally. Titan of Crypto says, BTC lost the orange line of the golden ratio multiplier. In the previous 2 cycles, price pulled back to this level before continuation. The orange line currently sits around 101K. I know it's a little small here on Washagoria's chart here, but will it revisit that? That was the relief rally thesis. We would come up and we would hit that, just like we did back in 2022, just like we did back in 2018. That happened both times. Will it happen here? So he calls it a golden ratio multiplier. That 50-week moving average was just about the same. That would repeat these patterns. If we don't come and back up and hit it and we continue to go lower, that would be even more bearish. Or maybe it's just a sign that the volatility is gone and Bitcoin is just going to kind of drift sideways more in a crab market, which with, it's over $1 trillion market cap now, maybe that is what happens. Meanwhile, the banks are freaking out over stablecoin yields. This is the big thing, right, about the Clarity Act, right? And Brian Armstrong of Coinbase is pushing back against the politicians. He's removed his support of the Clarity Act because people wouldn't be able to receive their yield on their stablecoins. Now, my thesis here too is that 2026 is the year of stables. This is where the whole thing shifts from cryptocurrency to stables, at least in the eyes of the United States government. They don't care about crypto. They don't care about Bitcoin. They don't care about Doge, unfortunately. It's all about their precious stables. The banks are going to end up just making their own stable coins. But who's going to be able to earn yield? Otherwise, you'll just keep cash, right? And just get interest on cash. You can already do that on the exchanges like Coinbase, and other third parties are still paying rewards, right, to users who hold stable coins. Banks argue these rewards are just interest by another name, allowing crypto to bypass the rules that the banks have to follow. So this is kind of what this is all about. And it's interesting that Brian Armstrong, right, who owns Coinbase, right, that you can have USDC and be earning yield on it on his exchange, right, the rewards, but the banks wouldn't be able to. So why would he be pushing that so much when he's getting like people to put their money onto his platform? So it's kind of interesting how this is all going to play out as the Clarity Act moves forward. So what's going on with Doge? Doge price compresses below resistance amid bullish setup. 15.4 is our big resistance line. And but there are some who are still predicting higher prices for Doge. Of course, we don't know what's actually going to happen, right? So a lot of people are putting their guesses out there. You already know mine. I've done mine. I did my January and my 2026 price prediction video. We looked at bear market bottoms. We looked at all of these things. And I'm not bullish like a lot of these price targets. So a sustained break above 15.2, and I think that's more supposed to be 15.4, could trigger a move up to 17 to 18 cents. That is their volume expansion remains key to confirming any bullish Dogecoin price breakout. And we just look, and you can go down out to the 4-hour chart here, and you can see the volume, right? We had nice big volume, right, at the beginning of the year when price is moving up, but as price drifts down, that volume goes back down. And especially, that last week of December, the volume was down, the price was drifting down. So yeah, we need the big volume, but that volume comes when price starts moving up. And right now, this chart is not looking like it's going to be moving up. We almost had the completion of the cup and handle. Some are already calling that the completion of it, and now it's just drifting back down. Again, these cup and handles, 50% of the time it goes up, 50% of the time it goes down. So that's what we have going on right now. And what are these? We looked at Trader Allen's this chart just a couple days ago. Instead of just the cup and handle, he's brought it all the way back and made it a reverse head and shoulders, of which he was predicting we would come up a little, down, and then bounce up to 18 cents. There's nothing that says that is actually going to happen. We have, of course, Ali predicting the same thing, up to 18 cents on his chart. And we've got Bitcoin Census with a target of 20 cents. That's right, the massive falling wedge breakout is in play. Dogecoin has already broken out of a falling wedge consolidation that has been going on for over 2 months. The pattern target at 20 cents, a potential plus 50% price appreciation if market conditions get better. Right, so he shows this, right? Price target 20 cents. And then he qualifies it right here, if market conditions get better. Of course, none of this is financial advice. But if you're doing this falling wedge thing and you see this, the breakout, normally you would come back and you would retouch that falling resistance line. Yeah, we're just going to drift sideways here, I think. I don't think this is going to happen. I know you guys don't want to hear this, but this is the way I see the market right now. There's just not a lot of positivity. And I don't see anywhere where we're going to have this big breakout. Now, you know, Doge can always go on a run on its own if it has a catalyst, a specific huge thing that's about Dogecoin, like Elon Musk, X, Tesla, like some huge thing, right? That would be what would break through all these price targets. But there's no sense that that's going to be happening anytime soon. Trader tardigrade. I mean, look at this. This is ridiculous. He zoomed out the 2-week chart. He's looking at the big run in 2021, right? And he takes that fractal and he puts it right here. He puts it right here. This goes up to $9. It's $9. It's like, come on. The RSI has retracted for the coming massive surge. So he's looking at this little RSI pattern, and he's putting this 2021 price fractal. It's just, if you guys get sucked into this, I'm sorry. It's kind of ridiculous. On, zooming back in, right? This is what I posted yesterday was as Dogecoin drops back into the 13s. We had that double top Tuesday and Wednesday, above 15 cents. However, weakness in the crypto market has pullbacks dropping below short-term support levels, leading Doge to drop back into the brown box, which the Chris Pax fam has been tracking. You all know about the boxes here. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Come in and join the live streams. We'll go through all the boxes again if you ask. CS 2024 says it's almost done correcting, right? Looking at that downward resistance, right? Of course, his downward resistance line pulls it right above the current action. And he thinks it's going to come out. And then what's it going to do, right? It's going to go to the pink line next, which is up here, which is like 18, 19 cents. And I'm like, unfortunately, lines on a chart don't mean the price is going there. I hate to say it, but that's the market we're in now. So be careful out there. I know some of you are buying some of these red candle dips. You know what I'm doing. I'm on the sidelines. I'm waiting. I'm holding what I have. I'm not swing trading. I don't trust this market at all. If there is some big catalyst that comes and Doge takes off, okay, that's great. I would love that. I do still hold 350,000 to 400,000 Doge right in that area. And that's good for me right now. I got a lot of taxes to pay still for my profits from last year, and then we'll see how the year goes ahead. So that's what I'm looking at for my situation. And I always tell you what I do in terms of buying and selling and all of that along the way. So come join in on the live streams, ask your questions because I do respond in the lives. Meanwhile, leave a comment below. What do you think about some of these price targets? How are you feeling about that? Give the video a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate the support. We'll see you next time.